What must we do to go to heaven? Give up everything of this world. Give up all of your worldly possessions. Say what? In this age of owning everything and owing for everything, this is an abomination, an unbelievable thought. This is why the Christ is so upset and concerned when he sees children putting themselves before all else in the world with the narcissistic creation of the selfie. They will never know, understand, or be able to appreciate the order of the true world if they think they come first at age 5 or 10 or 15 or 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. People are dying for narcissism, to put themselves before God's most spectacular creations in photos. To be first with the stupidest photo, because they must be primary in the picture. They stupidly, narcissistically fall to their deaths because they don't remember God is first, always. You won't find your way to heaven unless you find that camel and that needle, nor will anyone from the false prophets, for it can't be bought. But it can be earned through service to others, and it can be found through the love of Christ. The first step: honor his laws, respect his code. Love isn't ever found or learned from mindlessly staring at a screen or putting themselves in front of everyone, becoming a bully or a bitch, putting others down or saying how great they are. This is not love. This is not Christ. Nor is this at all Christian. The followers of the false prophets, those fake churches, those false evangelicals who put down others, those that preach hate, and those that are antichrists, they say these things. Christ doesn't. Ever. His followers don't. Except perhaps in a very weak human moment. And then they immediately apologize, admitting their fault to that individual and repenting. Nor do Christ's ministers ask for money as a means of gauging your interest. But that's how Christ explicitly denounced the false, godless creatures of his time and the false prophets. And I personally denounce the false, godless creatures of this time, the Antichrist, each one, for none preaches from a Christian Bible, but from abominations they have each created to specifically support their evil. For when you remove 63% to 79% of all scriptures and restructure the remainder to your needs, everything taken out of context now has alternate meanings. 3 even had the Lord speaking in innuendos. Joel Osteen, Jesse Duplantis, Kenneth Copeland, the evil of Pat Robertson, Credo Dollar, the Green Life Church, Jerry Falwell, oh, the name just burns my mouth, Brian Houston. To reach heaven, follow Jesus Christ and love one another. You do not buy your way to heaven. You give up all the goods these evil have accumulated and stolen from their churches, each living in such tremendous luxury, and none providing more than 1% of their total donated funds to charity ever. Joel Osteen even went so far during Hurricane Harvey as to not allow anyone into his dry church, his newly restored church, for over $10 million. And it was dry inside, but the floods came within a block of his church. But he wouldn't let anyone in because he didn't want their dirt, he said. And you know what he gave during these floods, when thousands and thousands lost all their goods, lost their homes, lost their lives? He gave $10,000 total. The tax code should not allow such artists, such thefts, should not allow flim-flam artists to simply state, I'm a church, and therefore receive all exorbitant income tax-free. These are nothing better than modern-day snake oil salesmen selling false relief and promises on the roadside and then picking up stakes before anyone really realizes it's pure grain alcohol. These are pretending to sell heaven, but it is merely false promises of an empty grave they are receiving. Because they say, the more you pay, the more likely you are to get to heaven. They actually say that. But you can act against this evil if you hear the call. You can always act when you hear the call here. Right. Call your legislator and congressional representatives to tell them you don't want false promises of heaven to be sold on TV any longer. And anyone making these claims should lose their tax-exempt status as a church, retroactive to their first tax filing, with all penalties in place. No one should ever be allowed to steal from poor folks and enrich themselves on the promise of heaven to others. And when you act, may you always go in peace of the Lord wherever you go. Take away these thieves of heaven. Stop them from hurting one more precious, innocent soul.